Today, we're diving into a major geopolitical shift unfolding in Europe, a development sparked by Denmark that is quietly reshaping the entire strategic balance of the region. What Denmark just decided is not only historic for its own national policy, but could also transform Europe's defense posture, its relationship with NATO, and the future of security across the continent. This move has triggered debates in Brussels, Washington, Moscow, and every major European capital. And in this video, we'll unpack what happened, why it matters, and how it could change Europe's future in ways many people are not seeing yet. Denmark has long been seen as a stable, modest-sized Northern European country known for diplomacy, welfare systems, and neutrality in certain defense matters. But suddenly, it has stepped into a much larger role, one that signals a dramatic break from decades of policy. It started with a decision that many analysts didn't expect Denmark to take so decisively, a military and strategic upgrade that aligns it far more aggressively with NATO goals and European defense integration. This shift is not symbolic. It's structural, financial, political, and deeply strategic. It represents Denmark's most significant defense realignment since the Cold War and is already influencing decisions among its neighbors. One of the most striking elements of this shift is Denmark's move toward a major expansion of its military capabilities. For years, Denmark maintained modest defense spending, often hovering near NATO's minimum expectations. But with Europe's security landscape drastically transforming, Denmark announced a massive increase in defense funding, signaling that it intends to become a much more influential military player in Northern Europe. This change didn't happen in isolation. It comes at a time when Europe is rethinking security from the Baltics to the Balkans, driven by rising tensions, energy instability, and new strategic challenges. Denmark's decision to strengthen its military has immediate consequences for the region. Its geography alone gives it immense strategic value. It controls access to the Baltic Sea through the Danish Straits, a crucial choke point for both NATO and Russia. By increasing military readiness and upgrading naval and air capabilities, Denmark is essentially reinforcing one of NATO's most important gateways. This dramatically increases security for Baltic states like Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia, who have long feared vulnerabilities in the region. It also places new pressure on Russia, which must now account for a stronger, more assertive Denmark in the Baltic theater. Another major factor behind Denmark's decision is the broader European push for defense independence. For years, European nations have debated whether they rely too heavily on the United States for their security. Denmark has historically been skeptical of deeper European Union military integration, choosing to opt out of the EU common security and defense policy for 3 decades. But now, in one of the most surprising political shifts in modern Danish history, the country voted to end that opt-out. This single decision pulled Denmark directly into Europe's defense framework for the first time since the 1990s. It's a dramatic change in direction, one that signals Denmark's recognition that Europe must take more responsibility for its own security. This decision also marks a turning point for the European Union. With Denmark's inclusion, one of Europe's long-standing gaps in defense integration has finally closed. The EU now has more unified military coordination across the continent, enabling quicker decision-making and greater collective strength. Denmark's change also increases trust between NATO and the EU, which have sometimes struggled with coordination. The fact that a historically cautious country like Denmark is stepping forward sends a message to other EU nations that deeper collaboration is not only necessary but inevitable. One of the largest drivers behind Denmark's shift is the growing instability in Europe. The landscape has changed in ways that no country can ignore. Energy security has become a major concern, supply chains have been disrupted, and geopolitical tensions have escalated. Denmark's leaders realized that relying on old frameworks and outdated defense policies was no longer viable. the world has entered a new era, and Denmark's response was to modernize rapidly, increase readiness, and align with European and NATO defense needs at a level never seen before. This new direction has also encouraged other European countries to reconsider their own defense policies. Nations like Germany, Sweden, and the Netherlands have already embarked on similar paths, dramatically increasing defense budgets and committing to modernizing their militaries. Denmark's strong move adds momentum to this broader European shift. It signals that the time for hesitation is over, and that Europe must prepare for long-term strategic competition in a rapidly changing world. Denmark's new defense posture includes major investments in advanced technologies, cyber defense, intelligence capabilities, and air power. These upgrades make Denmark not only stronger militarily, but also more capable of supporting regional allies. This is particularly important for Arctic security, where Denmark's control of Greenland becomes a critical factor. As global powers increase their presence in the Arctic, Denmark's involvement carries significant weight. Strengthening its military gives Denmark greater influence in decisions affecting Arctic resources, shipping routes, and geopolitical stability. Another major consequence of Denmark's shift is its impact on European unity. Europe has struggled for years to create a coherent defense strategy. Differing national interests, political disagreements, and reliance on external powers made it difficult for the EU to act as a true military bloc. Denmark's decision to join the EU defense framework adds not only practical capability, but also symbolic momentum. It shows that Europe is finally moving toward a more unified security structure. And at a time when global tensions are rising, unity is becoming one of Europe's most valuable assets. The move has not gone unnoticed by major global players. Russia closely monitors any change in European defense posture, especially in regions that affect the Baltic Sea. Denmark's upgrades will require Russia to adjust its naval and military calculations. Meanwhile, the United States has welcomed Denmark's shift, viewing it as a reinforcement of NATO and a sign that Europe is taking more responsibility. China, too, pays attention to Arctic developments, and Denmark's strengthened role in the region adds complexity to global competition in the far north. Despite the growing support for Denmark's new direction, the policy change also comes with challenges. Increased defense spending requires long-term financial commitment. Public opinion must remain supportive, political parties must cooperate, and Denmark must strike a balance between NATO obligations and EU defense goals. But the decision has already set Denmark on a new trajectory, one that will likely shape its future for decades. One of the most profound effects of Denmark's shift is its influence on Europe's overall strategic mindset. For years, European defense policies were reactive, slow, and fragmented. Denmark's bold decision shows a proactive approach, one that recognizes the new geopolitical reality and takes early steps to prepare for future challenges. This mindset is spreading across Europe, leading to a more confident and aware region that understands the importance of deterrence and preparedness. Denmark's move also strengthens cooperation with key European partners. Closer integration with Germany enhances security coordination across Northern Europe. Stronger ties with Sweden and Norway improve Arctic and maritime cooperation, and deeper alignment with Baltic countries enhances collective defense in one of Europe's most sensitive regions. This network of partnerships creates a more stable and secure Europe, reducing vulnerabilities and increasing deterrence against external threats. As Denmark implements its defense transformation, Europe will be watching closely. This shift has the potential to accelerate broader reforms across the continent. Countries that were hesitant to increase defense budgets or join EU missions may now feel encouraged to act. Those who were skeptical of deeper integration may reconsider their positions. Denmark's change is not just about military hardware. It represents a redefinition of Europe's security identity. In the long run, Denmark's decision could mark the beginning of a new era in European defense. An era in which Europe becomes more unified, more capable, and more strategically independent. Denmark's choice to invest in security, join EU defense cooperation, and strengthen NATO alignment represents a clear message. Europe is preparing for a future where stability cannot be taken for granted. This transformation shows that even smaller nations can play decisive roles in shaping regional security. Denmark may not have the population or economy of larger European powers, but it has made a choice that carries tremendous influence. The nation's strategic geography, political stability, and active role in international security make it a powerful force in shaping the direction of Europe's future. As tensions rise globally, Denmark's shift offers a blueprint for how nations can adapt to new challenges. By being proactive rather than reactive, by investing in capabilities that secure long-term stability, and by cooperating with allies in a more integrated way, Denmark is showing how Europe can build a stronger and more resilient future. This is why analysts say Denmark just changed everything for Europe. It's not simply about spending more money on defense. It's about redefining Europe's strategic posture, strengthening alliances, closing long-standing gaps, and preparing the continent for an uncertain future. Denmark's decision marks the beginning of a new chapter, one where Europe steps forward with greater responsibility, capability, and unity. And as this transformation unfolds, the world will be watching closely, because what happens in Europe in the coming years will shape global stability for decades to come. Thank you for watching. If you found this analysis helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Europe is changing fast, and Denmark is leading one of the most important shifts of our time. Stay tuned for more in-depth breakdowns on global events impacting our world today.